Over the last 15 years, I've invested well over $30,000 in drums and drum recording gear. Some pieces I couldn't do my job without, while many others are just collecting dust. If you're new to recording drums, you know it can be overwhelming to sift through all the influencer marketing hype and know where to spend your budget. So instead of giving you another list of new mics to buy or boutique preamps that are punchy yet warm, I'm gonna share some essential principles that will guide you in achieving your sound. Not my sound or the sound of the latest IT producer with a drum sample library to sell. Throughout this video, I'll occasionally make recommendations on can't miss gear that has never failed me. Pieces that consistently work better or sound better than others that cost way more money. So let's get into it. Here's what you need to know to start recording professional sounding drums right now. The very first thing, learn to tune your drums. If your drums sound like ass, everything you record will sound like ass. If your heads are old or dimpled or poorly tuned or over muffled or under muffled for the speed of the song, there is no saving you. I have a whole drum tuning course where I show you how to do all of this, step by step, in graphic detail without any guessing or dicking around. I used to just give this method away on forums, but it takes such a long time to read to understand all of the nuances that it just became too confusing. And as the saying goes, talking about music is like dancing about architecture. So here's what you can expect your drums to sound like if you learn my method. And since it's a course and not a YouTube video, I didn't have to skip any crucial steps for the sake of brevity. Link is in the description if you're interested. Number 2, treat your room with acoustic panels. This is not negotiable. And everyone who is new to tracking drums skips this step, and it will only lead to failure. If your room sounds like ass, everything you record in that room will sound like ass. Now ideally, you're in a big room with 16-foot ceilings, but let's face it, almost none of us have a room that big to track drums in. You could either kick out your roommates, your girlfriend, or your family out of your house and set up the drums in the living room, or you can treat the room that you're already in. The math for treating a room is very simple. You need panels at 1/4, 1/3, and 1/2 of the distance from each corner. So for any size wall, you're putting a panel at 1/4 of the length, 1/3 of the length, and 1/2 of the length. 1/4, 1/3. So this means if you have a 20-foot wall with 8-foot tall ceilings, your first panel is going to be 5 feet from the corner, second panel is 6.6 feet from the corner, third panel 10 feet right in the middle, and then on the other side 5 and 6.6 feet, and you need 2 of them. So you'd stack them right on top of each other. If your ceiling was higher, like 10 feet or 12 feet, you would just simply take these top panels and scoot them up to make them spread out a little more evenly. Then you're gonna add your corner traps. So you got 2 corner traps, one here, and then another 2. A corner trap here and a corner trap here. So that's what I have going on here. As you can see right in the center, we've got this corner trap, and then we've got panels at 1/4, 1/3, 1/2, and because there's a door there, I couldn't put the other 2 panels, so instead I just put one up on that corner on the left. It's not perfect, but nothing ever is. If your walls are only 10 feet long and 8 feet tall, I'm very sorry, but you can take the panels and turn them sideways and put 3 of them on top of each other. So you'd have 3 here, 3 here, plus a corner trap, corner trap, corner trap, corner trap. And you do this for all 4 walls. That's it. Then you need 2 panels on the ceiling directly above the kit. These panels must be 4 inches thick, not 2 inches thick. 2-inch panels are for mixing and won't do jack fucking shit for drums. There's a ton of YouTube videos on how to make sound panels, so I won't explain that here. However, I do recommend using these little corner brackets like this to make them nice and sturdy, since all the videos you're gonna see are for 2-inch thick panels, which again, are worthless for drums. This whole thing can be done in a weekend and will cost you $300 to $400 in material. Don't be like me and spend $7,000 on room treatment. However, I did make a video about that with my buddy Glenn to show how huge of a difference room treatment makes. You can check out that video down below. Now that your room sounds good, before buying anything, you have to consider what kind of music you want to make. Now this may sound obvious, but this guideline will prevent you from buying stuff that you'll never use, or worse yet, buying something that doesn't work for your genre. Here's the perfect example. For years, I've been trying to get a very specific type of kick sound that's punchy for fast tempos, but has a bit of room in it so it doesn't sound flat. I bought virtually every kick mic on the market without success, until I realized just a few months ago that the problem was that the porthole on my resonant head was too small, so it would get woofy at tempos over 200 BPM. So then I'd have to stuff it with a huge pillow to try to fix that, which then made the attack too inconsistent. See, I was just chasing my tail, making one mistake after another. What I really needed was a much larger porthole or no front head at all, and just a little bit of muffling. Now, almost any kick mic will sound great, and any experimenting with wacky setups is purely for the love of the game. Next up, buy a lower tier drum kit and a higher tier snare drum. Your drum kit does not have to be expensive. In general, it's much better to buy a lower tier drum kit and a really good snare than it is to buy a top of the line kit and have no money to get a great snare sound. That means that the drums that you have are probably good enough already, as long as the bearing edges are pristine. And if your bearing edges are messed up, it's very affordable to get them recut from someone in your area. Typically 20 to 50 bucks a drum. And then you just need to upgrade your snare. Now I do all subgenres of rock and metal, and even though these subgenres can sound very different, the actual acceptable tuning range of drum tones in these genres is really quite narrow. Just by changing how you muffle your drums or what pitch you tune your snare, you can go from deathcore to Nickelback to Sleep Token, all with the same set of drums and snare. Almost always, a wood snare just won't do for heavy genres. Wood snares simply don't sound aggressive enough, unless they are very expensive, like a Craviotto or a Stave shell snare. Fuck, that's hard to say. You want something versatile, but not bland. Two snares that consistently beat the brakes off the cork-sniffing Black Beauty users are the 14x8 Ludwig Copperphonic and the 14x7 Tama John Tempesta snare. They consistently sound amazing over a very wide tuning range and won't break the bank. If you want something not quite as good, but for way less money, the 14x6.5 Mapex Daisy Cutter is the best inexpensive snare drum ever made, and it can be found for 200 bucks on the used market. Suck it, Acrolite! So now that you know how to tune your drums properly, your room sounds good, and you have a decent kit with a great sounding snare, we can finally talk about the sexy stuff. Recording equipment. With gear in general, you must respect the law of diminishing returns. You don't need expensive recording gear to get great sounds, blah, 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 blah. However, if you're looking for a very specific sound, oftentimes that will cost you a lot of money. So it pays to be flexible. You want good equipment that will allow you to mold your tones into whatever you want without bankrupting you. I'm currently doing a very expensive experiment for a video to get the greatest kick drum sound ever. So far, I am like $2,000 into this experiment, but it's for science. But if you want to see that video, hit the subscribe button. That video will be out soon. Does it sound better than the pair of $140 mics I had before? Of course. Does it sound 20 times better? Absolutely not. There is a baseline of quality you need to get good drum tones. And after that, it's just an expensive lesson in the law of diminishing returns. My X32 console was 1,600 bucks for 32 inputs. My Phoenix Audio DRS-8, which was given to me by a friend, I did not pay for it, cost $3,200 for 8 inputs, meaning it's 8 times the cost per channel compared to the X32. Do the Phoenix Pre's sound 8 times as good as the X32? Fuck no. 15%, 20% better Maybe. So don't worry about expensive gear until you've hit the limits of the gear you can afford, and there's no other way to get better than to start spending a boatload more money. Which means you gotta learn to get good sounds with affordable mics. An Audix D6 is $100 used and is the best sounding tom mic you'll ever use that isn't a Josephson E22. The new Sennheiser 421 Compact is the best version of that mic that they've ever made. Does it sound better than a D6 on toms? Nope. And it's 3 times the price. Just by moving the mic around while hitting the drum, you can wildly change the sound of your drums into just about anything you want. I have a whole video on this, as this is one of the most essential skills you will ever learn, which is using mic placement to mold the sound of your drums into whatever you wish. So definitely check that video out, it's super important. Up next, buy nice or buy twice does not always apply. I'm sure you've heard this phrase before. It suggests that you'll avoid frustration and disappointment if you invest in the new best is better, best model of the thing that you truly want. Now, while this is generally true, don't use this as a justification for buying something that you really don't need or something that you won't be able to use correctly. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. For example, RME makes the best interfaces on the planet, hands down, no contest. Their drivers are the best, their latency is the lowest, their customer support is top tier, they never break. However, to properly record a 5-piece kit, you need at least 11 inputs. 2 overhead mics, 2 room mics, snare top, snare bottom, 1 kick, 3 toms, and a ride spot mic. You can skip the hi-hat mic for now. To get 12 RME inputs, you need a Babyface Pro FS for $870 plus a 12 mic for another $2,250. Or you could get a Behringer XR18X Air, which has 16 inputs, 6 outputs, good enough preamps, just don't crank the gain past 43, savable scenes, and a ridiculous amount of flexibility for only 500 Freedom Bucks. And the best part is, if you ever can't figure something out about it, you can just go onto the Music Tribe forum, upload your scene, make a post saying what you're trying to do, and some nice person will download your scene, they will fix it and re-upload it, put it on your computer, and everything's fixed. And then after that, you've still got an extra 5 inputs to experiment as your needs grow. Now that you know how to tune drums, you've treated your room, you've got a decent kit with a great snare, and you bought some basic equipment, it's time to record and learn how the plugins you use interact with the recording techniques that you've chosen. You will almost immediately run into a problem that you can't figure out. And that's when you need to reach out to someone you know, or someone in your area, or someone that works at a local studio, and ask them something along the lines of, "Hello, kind sir, I'm new to recording drums, and I've run into a problem that I can't figure out. Can I pay you some cold, hard Freedom Bucks to listen to my tracks and tell me what I'm doing wrong?" I can't tell you how many times I've had to reach out to someone like Alex Nasla or Glenn Fricker or Jackson from Strata Recording when I hit a problem that I couldn't fix. One time I had a problem and I paid Jackson to listen to my tracks, and it took him honestly about 30 seconds to figure out what I was doing wrong. It was just a simple oversight that I had never even considered. I could have spent days, weeks, months, or even years chasing my tail around, but I'm glad I didn't, and I just offered up those cold hard Freedom Bucks to get another pro's advice. The big boys offer this service to each other all the time. They're always trading tips and tricks, so us normies shouldn't be any different. The key to get this to work is to always lead your phone call or your email with, "I will pay you money to do nothing but listen and offer advice." Hell, for $100, I'll listen to your tracks and tell you what's up. My email's somewhere on the channel. Oh yeah, one more thing. Don't waste your money on a bunch of plugins just yet. You're just gonna end up buying a bunch of stuff that you'll never end up using. But if you're hell-bent on getting something right now, by far the best value at the end of 2025 is the UAD Spark subscription. It has more than everything you'll need and only costs $20 a month.